Hi, Taylor T. Carlson, and it's vinyl haul time again. This is my second and probably final vinyl haul of January 2021. Year's off to a crazy start, but it's at least off to a good start as far as my record purchases go. And once again, I paid a visit to my buddy Joey over at Record City, and I'm going to show off some of my latest purchases. I mainly just scoured the budget bin this time around, but I did find some good new stuff as well. Rather, new reissues of older albums. So let's get started. First of all, I got this half-speed remaster series. This is the Doobie Brothers, The Captain and Me. Their third album. This was the one that featured classics like Natural Thing, Long Train Runnin', and China Grove. This album, like most of their catalog, was produced by Ted Templeman, formerly of the band Harper's Bazaar, and who also produced the David Lee Roth Van Halen albums, as well as several other albums for many other artists over the years. One of the great producers in the industry. Really glad to get my hands on this one. I don't think I've owned any Doobie Brothers on vinyl yet, surprisingly, but when I saw this behind the counter at Record City, I knew I couldn't resist. The other new item I purchased was this. This is Mad Season Above. Mad Season was a short-lived 90s grunge supergroup featuring members of Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, and Screaming Trees. He only made one record, but it's a damn good one. Beautiful inner gatefold on here with some pictures of the band. Here's the back cover. This is a double vinyl set. It's actually got a few bonus tracks that were not on the original release, so you don't get a whole lot of bonus tracks on vinyl records, it seems like, so that's definitely a plus there. Really looking forward to revisiting this one. And now into all my budget bin finds, and believe me, there were quite a few of them this time around. First of all, Quarter Flash. Not the best known band in the world, but in 1981 they had one of the biggest hits in the world with Heart in My Heart. That song remains a regular staple of rock pop radio to this day, and the rest of the album is pretty solid too. It's just a shame that they'll probably only forever be known for that one song, Good As It May Be. Next up, Gary Lewis and the Playboys, Golden Greats. Gary Lewis was the son of comedian Jerry Lewis, and Gary was quite the talented musician, making many pop hits over the years, and at one point in his career he was even drafted into the Army, although he came back and continued to plug away and make music, and he's always been pretty active. I mean, this has classic hits on it like This Diamond Ring, She's Just My Style, Count Me In, Sure Gonna Miss Her, Save Your Heart For Me, Everybody Loves a Clown. Again, this guy had a lot of hits on the charts back in his prime, and great to finally get them all on a single record. Another good budget bin find. Johnny Winter, Captured Live. Johnny Winter, of course, the blues guitarist, brother of legendary keyboardist Edgar Winter, and the Winter brothers have always produced and created great music. Johnny sadly passed away a few years ago, but the guy was one hell of a guitarist, and surprisingly, I didn't have any of his stuff on vinyl until now, so finding this in the budget bin was a definite highlight of my visit to Record City. Next up, Shirley Bassey, live at Carnegie Hall. Shirley Bassey is the only person to perform more than one theme song for the James Bond film franchise. The songs she did are Goldfinger, Diamonds Are Forever, and Moonraker. This came out, I believe, in the early 70s, so it was before Moonraker was made, but it does have live renditions of Goldfinger and Diamonds Are Forever. This is a double LP, so one of the better finds I made in that budget bin. Nice little inner gatefold here. To be honest, I'm not super familiar with her music outside of the songs she did for the James Bond franchise, but that's just one of the reasons I'm looking more forward to giving this a listen later today. Next up, Chad and Jeremy, Yesterday's Gone. Classic British invasion pop duo, and the song Yesterday's Gone and the songs A Summer Song, those were both very big hits on the chart, and it's always good to be able to get my hands on some of the classic hits from these artists that I've grown up listening to on the radio, and seeing if there's anything extra in the sleeve here, and I don't believe there is, but again, underrated pop duo. Those two big hits are probably the best things they're known for, but looking forward to giving this whole thing a listen. Another good find. Jon Stewart. Bombs Away, Dream Babies. Don't know what the hell he was thinking when he came up with that title. Jon Stewart was a member of the Kingston Trio back in the 1960s, and he wrote the song Daydream Believer, which was a hit for the Monkees, intending to record that with the Kingston Trio initially. That didn't work out, but the song became a big hit for them. And this album features the song Gold, which became his biggest hit as a solo artist. Nice little shot of his Les Paul right there. My dad's got some pretty nice guitars, and he actually has a Les Paul that's almost exactly like this one. You can see it again on the front cover there. A lot of cool guests on this album. The song Gold includes a guest appearance from Lindsey Buckingham on guitar and Stevie Nicks on additional vocals, both of them famed, of course, for their role in Fleetwood Mac. It's pretty cool how he got some of these people to play on his record. I'm just looking over the other songs. They've got this broken down on here, like by who plays on what song, and most of the other names aren't really jumping out at me, but the fact he got those two to play on his record is pretty cool. Okay, Drag City, Jan and Dean. These guys were probably the most famous of all the American surf rock bands after the Beach Boys. And in fact, some of these songs that they did were even recorded by the Beach Boys or written by Brian Wilson. Like, what all is on here? See, they actually do a cover of Little Deuce Coupe, which was a big hit for the Beach Boys, and then Dead Man's Curve was a pretty big hit for them as well. And I don't know what's with the back of this record. It's got some random stuff caked on the back. Probably the reason it's in the budget bin. So I think I'll be cleaning this one off a little before I throw it on the turntable. One more Jan and Dean find. This is Surf City. The title track was actually written by Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. He gave it to them, and it became probably Jan and Dean's biggest hit. And they kind of follow a city theme on this. There's other songs on here, including Memphis, which I believe is a cover of the Chuck Berry hit, which Johnny Rivers also had a hit with. Tallahassee Lassie, I believe that was a hit for Freddie Cannon. Honolulu Lulu, that was a pretty big hit for them as well. And then Kansas City, a lot of artists have done that one as well. But yeah, Jan and Dean, one of the very few surf rock bands from back in the day that was not a one-hit wonder. So any opportunity to get more of their stuff is certainly a welcome addition to my collection. Ted Nugent, Free For All. No one can deny that this guy, back in his prime, was one of the best guitarists in the business. This one actually has a few tracks that had a then unknown Meatloaf on vocals. Some of the tracks still have Derek St. Holmes on vocals, who was on the album before, and of course the one after as well. This was Ted's second album, and still stands as one of the strongest in his catalog. Always good to get more from Uncle Ted to add to my collection. I need to take a look at his discography and just see what else I should start looking for as well. Okay. Carly Simon, self-titled debut album. Carly Simon had some great pop hits back in the early mid-70s. She's actually the daughter of the co-founder of the Simon & Schuster Publishing Company, and this is not her best-known album, nor does it have the bigger hits that she was later known for. Interestingly, and I actually just noticed this right now, the producer on this was Eddie Kramer. Eddie Kramer went on to be a very famous rock producer, perhaps best known for his work with Kiss in the latter half of the 70s. And there's actually a liner notes here that have the lyrics, and if you turn this around, it's got a poster of Carly, so that's pretty cool. Kind of surprised that was still in there, given that this was a budget bin find of all things. Next up, Jethro Tull, Living in the Past. This one's in pretty shoddy shape, but it's a 2 LP set, and Jethro Tull's definitely one of my favorite classic rock bands. It's got this built-in book here, which looks pretty cool. Got some amazing photos of the group here. I'm not going to go through every single page, but you can see how cool some of that stuff looks. And this has some tracks on it. I'm not totally sure what the deal is with these. I don't know if these were just like non-LP singles originally. It looks like some of these say they were from the albums. I'm not totally sure what the exact purpose of this release was. And in fact, it says the stuff that's on side 3 and 4 is actually live. What does it say here? Yeah, side 3, it says, was recorded live at Carnegie Hall, so that's pretty cool. I'll definitely be throwing this one on the turntable later. This stuff, Climax Blues Band, gold-plated. These guys probably best known for the 70s pop rock hit Couldn't Get It Right, but this has a few other hits on it as well. Again, admittedly not a group I'm super familiar with outside of that one hit, but I'm always open to exploring bands that I'm not familiar with and adding more stuff to the collection. And one more find here. Chris Squire, Fish Out of Water. Chris Squire, best known for being the long-running bass player in the band Yes. Sadly, he passed away a few years ago, but I think he was probably on more albums with the Yes name than any other performer. Because they actually did a few albums without John Anderson, their classically vocalist, so he himself doesn't hold the record. But again, don't quote me on that. Inner gatefold here. And this actually has some stuff printed on the sheet here. Got some really bizarre prog rock style artwork. But we'll put that away for now. Is your 2021 off to a good start? Have you made any good finds in the way of vinyl records? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also remember to subscribe to my channel for additional content because I'm always posting new videos. And give this one a like if you found it helpful or interesting. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you next time.